What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Daniel Coale, DC UPenn's finest, Chris Coulter, CB Coach Boy. We got another great episode for you guys today. We will be talking the final loose ends of NFL free agency and talking about where do we see Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson landing. And we'll also be doing the first 10 picks of the NFL draft. We'll be doing a mock draft. Of course, this is probably the most proper time, or I guess you could say the most accurate time, even though you will never get an accurate mock draft a day in your life. It's just about as hard as having a relatively good March Madness bracket. Make sure you go fill those out, though. But
you might be getting your top five right in directionally at least.
Yeah, and that's even in question just because of who's up there, who's in charge up there. But
top of mind, I remember Kayvon Thibodeau a couple years back. He was guaranteed to be like a top 3 pick. Wound up going 5.
Yeah, the character, like I think he like weighed less than what he should have at the combine, whatever. And Trey Walker. So, but before we get into any of that, just want to remind you guys, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notifications so you don't miss a single upload from any of the great shows on this channel. Audio listeners, leave a like, follow the show, download, 5-star review, comment if you can, all the great stuff. But let's swing it to Danny for Summits and Plummets.
Yeah, Summit, double Summit, starting number 1 Summit. We're going to Tampa tomorrow. Pretty lit. Hyped to play some golf this weekend. Relax in the sun. Get a little tan before Memorial Day weekend. I know you're like, oh, that's 2 months away. You're like, that's 2 months away, bro. 2 months. 2 months will happen in a blink.
That is true.
No questions asked.
It's true. We're already in March.
Man, we're almost towards flight in June. We're bringing it back to 2025.
We're not bringing that back 5 years later. And truth be told, that actually crushed me. Like, I kind of, because there was like a little bit of a lead. I'm like, okay, he's able to dunk. Like, maybe he's just been trolling the whole time. Like, maybe he's like actually good. And no, he's just not good.
Remember the one dude, the ginger on TikTok who was blowing up? Super Mario Man. Oh, I don't even know his name.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
I forget about him, but it was hilarious.
Yeah, that's peak. That's 2020 action right there. But
peak 2020 action. Beautiful holiday weekend. We were in New York this past weekend. Beautiful holiday action. St. Patrick's Day. I think it has embraced the culture of the Irish to drink any moment and celebrate hard. And Chris was Irish this weekend, so nothing better.
Hey, I'm Irish anytime we hit the function. They invented my favorite way to say goodbye. So
what Drake say?
Forever grateful.
What about the function?
Yeah. Chris.
Okay. Plummet 1 got cooked last night in my men's league. Actually got steamrolled. Funny thing, but this is the cool part. I made a 3 to put us up 8 with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left.
Oh, it's over. You're up 8. That's like being up 3-1 in hockey.
We lost by 3 in 2 minutes and 20-some seconds. Absolutely insane. Second loss in the row,
T-Mac?
by the way.
Ethical tank.
Yes, Small Mac, whoever he was, some dude who was possibly all of 5'7". He might have been Michael Jordan. He might have been. It might have been. He took his powers from Space Jam, IDK. Second loss in a row, though. So, L. But on the positive side, and I'm kind of sticking with basketball a little bit, I got asked to coach AAU yesterday. AAU and to help with doing skills training. Funny enough, one of the people who knew me from like my younger days, like in high school, he was like a high school coach at the time, coached AAU in a lot of different places, but he just remembered me. And like a couple coaches that I've had has been like a mentor of his. So when he moved to Dallas, they had him reach out to me and ask me, did I want to do some things as far as like just with helping players with skills, first of all, like maybe like 4th through 8th grade level, and then kind of turn it into AAU program. So just excited to kind of get started in that. And it's like coupled with me switching careers, I'm going into like teaching into that space. So I think it's all kind of works together to be helping with the youth, which is always something I want to do. So I'll update the pod as it goes on. It's just like in the beginning stages now, but just exciting.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Salute. Whatever team you end up coaching, we will be giving updates
the
on
salutes.
They will have.
We will be giving
guaranteed
salutes
to fans. Yes, we will be giving salutes.
The Darvin Hams.
Yeah, and if
Chris-
they're playing bad, I will get in contact with their coach and send them the ham emoji.
This is me right here, y'all. You see me? I got the
hands in
windbreaker on. I got the hands in the pockets. That's all I'm
Chris
doing.
Pockets.
Yo, Chris, I need to see a Jay Wright level reaction to the national championship.
Do you want Jay Wright or Bobby Hurley? Which one you want? Or Dan Hurley?
Yeah, Dan Hurley. Yeah, he was like excited for a second, then he locked in.
Yeah, which one you want? Which one you want? Because I can do both.
I want Jay Wright. Jay Wright said.
Yeah, that was like
it's cool, I guess.
Game winner, confetti cannon firing up.
All right, boys.
got it. Yeah, you got to be professional.
Next year.
But I would say Summit definitely glad I took Chris's advice. Watched Invincible. In season 3, episode 3. I'm right before, where I guess you could say this, steak and potatoes of where that season's at. Definitely got early favorites. I have characters I don't like, and I'm glad that they're the same characters that no one else likes. So it's all good. I don't like Kate. I don't like Immortal. I don't like Eve's dad.
Total turd. Eve's dad is the lamest dude ever.
Yeah,
lame.
Bro.
Lame.
I don't know. Cause I'm definitely gonna read the comics once I'm caught up. So I don't know. Maybe there's a deeper explanation for the way he acts. But there's got to be someone else I don't like. It sucks because I was all in on Cecil, like first 2 seasons, like no doubt, big season, and then like I don't even want to say he was like wrong. Like I don't even know if I want to say I'm against him. The only thing I don't like was like putting the chip in Mark's head. I thought that was a little much, but kind of that whole thing, I'm like, yo, Mark tweaking. But I like the timing that Mark was on in season 3 because I was like, I think people blew it out of proportion how much he like loses fights. I think he kind of just gets unlucky a little bit. But to see him like actually be able to like take care of people, no questions asked, like he's about like, Viltrumite level. I can live with that. I like that.
He's not Nolan.
So,
they try to make like he's Nolan that just loses. He's not Nolan.
I think him. I don't know. I like his, human aspect. I can't wait to meet the other Marks though. I can't wait to meet the other versions. Like I've been spoiled a little bit, of course. Like there's one with like a full mask. There's like an Omni Invincible.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, it was crazy. I do gotta say the scene where what's his name, Astrum, the one who got like all the dimensions versions of him mixed together.
Yes,
when he started putting hands on Debbie, I should have like personally teleported in there because not really sure why he's touching my woman like that. But salute to Debbie. Debbie's one of my favorites for sure. But let's get into where we think these old vets are going, man. I guess these guys are in
with the number 1 in contention.
Are we starting with are you talking about number 1 team in contention or Rodgers, who obviously probably has more offers?
Player. I think we should start with Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, let's start with Rodgers. We're going to assume Rodgers is going for a starting position. There is rumors of him to Minnesota, which is very weird because they moved off Sam Darnold for what would be the same reason I'd hope, is that they want JJ McCarthy to start. So it's just a dark horse thing that I saw. Not sure how real it is. But Chris, we can start with you. Where do you see Rodgers going?
I had a few places in mind. Spoiler alert, not the Jets.
Can't do that anymore. They upgraded.
Good one.
Right to JF. Talk soon.
They have 7.
You're right. JF7.
That 7 has 4. I have to say, the 7 is it. The 7 is so it.
I'm not gonna lie.
7 because he's a running quarterback. Like toss him. But I would say
Big Ben, the running.
No.
Be a Danny on that same wavelength.
Yo, young Big Ben, more of an athlete than Justin Fields.
I don't know if wheels are the word.
No.
He had
some shape. He had some shape.
He had the Creed "Can you take me higher" vibe.
He moved like Pat Mahomes because Pat Mahomes has a scurry to him. It's more like a scurry, not a run. That's how he does it.
It's like a scurry. But let's get back to what Rodgers is up to.
But I think my first place for Rodgers is the Browns. That's why I like to see him. I think only because I won't say they're a quarterback away, but quarterback's always been trash for them. And then when they got Deshaun Watson, they got him a year later, a year creepier. So he was just like not as good anymore. So at that point, I want to see them with a competent quarterback. Like I said, Aaron Rodgers has ups and downs, obviously, with the Jets, but I still think Aaron Rodgers can produce in the NFL. And with the defense that the Browns have, which has lost a little bit of pieces, Juan Thornhill was a huge loss.
He's awful. He's awful, in my opinion.
I thought he was decent. But seeing that they lost some, I think outside of them trying to pick a Shador or something like that, I doubt they do that. So I'd say Aaron Rodgers would be like the bridge guy for the next year and a half, depending on what next year's draft looks like for them. So I think that'd probably be the best place outside of where Danny may say, depending on if I'm right. But I think the Browns probably my choice.
You know what they're calling Juan Thornhill? They call him Jog Thornhill on Twitter. There are multiple plays where they catch him jogging on the football field.
Jog Thornhill.
Boy was tired.
It's a good.
Hilarious.
Danny,
I'm not gonna lie.
What do you think about Rodgers?
Yeah, there's some new news picking up today that Aaron Rodgers is looking more and more likely to sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I think it's like honestly a match made in heaven. Rodgers is working out with Deshaun Elliott early this offseason, former Raven, by the way. And I think the Steelers aren't, so to say, a QB away, but I think they're, as we see, they're more along than the Browns in terms of
100%
teams. They just made a move for Metcalf. I think they're also further along than the Giants, because the Giants, they have Malik Neighbors and friends. If Rodgers is going to say, "Oh, you have two choices: go try to win." The Steelers are his best option outside of the Vikings, and the Vikings he might be the backup. The Giants, he doesn't really have a chance to win. He's in the Eagles, Commanders, and then Cowboys they're the Cowboys. They're going to make noise.
If they're healthy and they got Dak, they're making
noise.
Fine.
They're going to be good.
Just fine. Dak, not good enough to win you a Super Bowl, good enough to win you 11 plus games.
Yeah, for sure. That's for damn sure. Especially, I like the moves they made in their running back room. But look, Aaron Rodgers, I think he's destined to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Antonio Brown did report first that Aaron Rodgers, he's been adamant that Aaron Rodgers is a Pittsburgh Steeler. He keeps posting it.
He did.
And he keeps posting Aaron Rodgers and AB back on the same field together, which would be hilarious. AB, 35 years old, back on the field with Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, he's better than some cats they got over in Jacksonville and Cleveland.
That is a fact. He's crazy, but that is a fact.
It is true. Hey, look,
why was he before?
He just did it. Kanye went insane. They ain't stopping from letting him produce a little bit though.
Yeah,
it's not crazy.
Yeah,
I just thought, because you said the Steelers, I thought of the funniest case scenario. What if they just swapped quarterback rooms? Rodgers goes to the Steelers, Fields goes to the Jets, and then Russell Wilson goes to the Jets.
And then Russell Wilson goes to...
Where does that rank amongst funniest timelines of all time? I think it's got to be like top
4. Easy.
Yeah, it would be. It's definitely top 4. The funnier part is Kenny Pickett. He said,
Brown,
Aaron Rodgers, we're good. We have Kenny Pickett.
That's true.
You can go now.
Pickett has won a Super Bowl way more recent than that fraud. He took Super Bowl snaps, by the way.
Carried by Jalen Hurts, I fear. Sorry.
No, I do. I think those are both good options. I mean, there's not a serious quarterback like situation for the Browns. The Steelers, I feel like them taking the easy way out would just to re-sign Wilson, and it's a loser move. I think it's an entire loser move. I thought Wilson was like fine at best for them last year, but let's be honest, they need a guy who's going to attack the middle of the field a little bit more. And the moon ball by Wilson is a little shot these days. So you need a guy like Rodgers, who the arm strength is still very much there. The decision making was just Yeah, the arm talent. It's just he had a couple just like low IQ moments last year, but I think I'm gonna have to agree with Danny. I think the Steelers would be a really good spot for Rodgers. There is another place I was thinking, but I'm being a little sentimental. And I'm gonna leave it for Russell Wilson. So yeah, I like the Steelers. I guess I can just transition right into where I think Wilson's going. I think Russell Wilson will go home. I think he'll go home to Seattle, where maybe he could be a bridge guy for a potential guy they draft this year. He does. There is Sam Darnold there. However, if they could get Rodgers on maybe like a cheaper deal, or Wilson on a cheaper deal, it's definitely possible. I do also have to say this. One of the main reasons I say Seattle, though, is I don't think Russell Wilson's going to be a starting quarterback next year. That's not to just immediately say he's not a top 32 quarterback, but the teams where he would start is kind of like, we got like a younger guy, waiting, that kind of situation. Or they're going to be drafting somebody. So I think him going back home, I mean, to sit behind and help Sam Darnold, who is eternally 24 years old, continue to develop. I don't know. Right? Maybe that picks a little bit out of left field, but with the mindset that he's not starting a starting quarterback next year, I don't think it's too far fetched.
I don't hate it. My pick for him is the Giants. I think the Giants are going to take Shedeur at 3, and I think they need a mentor for Shedeur Sanders. I don't think that they, especially with what's came out about Shedeur, that he had like apparently some of the teams don't like the way he's been responding to interviews, and he's kind of giving the Dion vibe. I mean, I wonder why he's his son, but
big if true.
Yeah, I wonder why. But like,
wait till they find out.
They're giving out the vibe that he's like better than everyone, which Shedeur is awesome, but he's not Dion coming out of college. Is the reality.
He's not even acting like that. That is the worst part about it all.
That's the weakest part.
They hate to see a young man embrace the nepotism.
Bro, they hate that he has confidence in himself. But if anybody else is like, oh, he's got that gunslinger mentality, he's so brash. But since Shedeur is, I don't like his chain. I don't like the fact that he's been saying that he's gonna be good when he gets.
Bro, Marvin Harrison Jr. literally called Maserati Marv.
And Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't allow his jersey to be sold for a year and a half. How about that?
Yeah,
that's a different reason. That's a different reason.
But like, why was that
a lawsuit? It was a lawsuit with Fanatics because he sold off part of his like. It's a big thing with Fanatics.
He didn't. Was it with Madden too, though? Because in Madden, at first, he wouldn't even do his likeness in Madden. That wasn't prima donna. They didn't say that was prima donna.
There was it was the Fanatics thing is more his likeness. He had a like reserved right for his likeness. I forget what it is.
Yeah, that's pretty funky. But I evaluate Shedeur Sanders' personality based on his workout videos with Cam Ward.
That's fine.
That's very fun.
Anyway, yeah, back to your
reminiscent of the old DTR UCLA workout videos.
Throwback, man.
Yeah, I think Russell Wilson is going to wind up perfectly on the Giants. Mentor Shedeur Sanders or whoever they might have taken at. And look, if not, the Giants could easily rock out with Russell Wilson for a year, be 4-13 again. Malik Neighbors gets really mad, but you get him Archie Manning, and you're good.
Yeah.
If you tell Malik Neighbors, we're going to suck this year, but you'll get Archie Manning.
Neighbors going to be quarterback proof for a long time, so I don't think.
No, it's not about quarterback proof. I don't know. I don't know how New York proof he is, dude. Like he gives me the vibe that, like he said it before. He's like, yo, like this guy sucks at quarterback. Like, I want a quarterback. I want the ball. Like he's
that's just like obviously. I will never get that out of elite receivers. Like Malik Neighbors had awesome, like 160 targets or something. Like the ball come your way. The ball
comes his way, but at some point you want to win.
That's fine. Well, he got drafted to a bad team, so you put 2 and 2 together, it's going to take some
very
time.
Bad team. Very bad team.
Very bad. Let's go to Christo. Where is Mr. Unlimited heading?
Unlimited.
Yeah, I had him going to the Giants too for the same reason as Danny. I think the Giants draft Shedeur at 3. I think he's probably the best mentor you can get for him, especially if I'm not even gonna put it in quotes. The BS character concerns are a real thing. Nobody's more character than I love my wife, Russell Wilson. So at the end of the day, it'll give you a good seed to say that you tried to help Shedeur if it's such a big deal. And I think at the end of the day, what matters most, he can really help Shedeur be a better NFL quarterback. And I think the thing that Russell Wilson does really well, and I think is ball placement. And I think Shedeur does that really well. So I think him kind of just helping him in a couple categories and just being a pro, which I mean his dad obviously has helped with, but just at the quarterback position, I think that'll be really good for his development. And also, like I said, maybe he can play his way into a starting job mid-season, like when a quarterback gets hurt, like it always does. So I think it's just a win-win situation for Russell Wilson. He goes in there, and if he has to play, at least has a number one in Malik Neighbors. And if he doesn't, he's just there to really help. So I think that's like a win-win for him. And I was going to say the same about the Titans, but I don't think the Titans would do it because they have Will Levis still at quarterback there. So I don't think they would do it, but I think he would probably be a good mentor if they go with Cam Ward at 1-2.
Yeah, the Titans are a bit of a disaster. I mean, I wouldn't blame them for signing any quarterback. It's just which we're going to get into in a second, like mock draft.
They're the Colorado Rockies of the NFL.
Yeah, like they just ignore the quarterback thing. Just get the best player available. Whoever they believe that to be, Travis or Abdul Carter.
Will Campbell.
Yeah, like Will Campbell, Mason Graham, like, one of those guys. But, I mean, while we're on the topic, might as well roll right into it. I'll assume we all kind of just made our top 10. We'll talk about, each of the picks that we made. I can go first. Spoiler, I literally just said that the Titans should just take best player available, and I stand by that. I have them taking Travis Hunter, and I'm taking him at 1 with the intent that he's going to play both sides of the ball. I don't know about like 118 snaps a game, but I think he'll be a very, very important piece on offense and probably the most important piece on defense. As you know, if you've been watching how I've been talking about Travis Hunter for the past 2 years, his receiver upside is great. I think his corner upside is like all-timer. So, I gotta take him 1. Don't overthink it. Get the top guy. What did you guys have for Tennessee?
I have him taking Cam Ward.
Okay. I considered it a little bit.
I think they're gonna take Cam Ward. The reality is, like they said, the Titans' new GM said, "I'm not leaving this draft without generational talent." Whether he thinks that's a quarterback position or Travis Hunter, Cam Ward is a lot like Joe Burrow in the fact that he broke out late in college. He's a little older coming out of the draft, and he has this like innate ability to just be calm under pressure.
Yeah.
Like
I guess
Cam Ward, you watch all his highlights, and he's just like, "All right, whatever."
Yeah,
nonchalant.
Try that in the NFL.
Joe Burrow, okay, that's crazy. That is true. Don't do that in the NFL. Joe Burrow is kind of the same way though. His natural pocket presence, his ability to just sit back and be calm and take
That's
a hit.
funny because I think the other guy is more like Burrow than Ward. But
well,
I get the comparison on this specific aspect of the game.
Yeah,
Ward reminds me of McNabb.
I'm not mad at that at all.
I
like that.
Mad at that one bit. I like that.
If you said someone reminds you of Early McNabb, I'd be happy if I had Early McNabb for 10 years.
That's what I'm saying.
Early McNabb is awesome. Yeah. No disrespect to McNabb. I know the later years McNabb was awful, but
the quarterbacks kind of remind me a little bit of like the guys who are about to enter the NBA draft, where you look at Flagg, Bailey, Harper. It's like none of these guys you'll say are generational. They're just some damn good basketball players. Same thing with these quarterbacks. Ward and Sanders aren't generational. We don't got to, kid ourselves. They're good. Like they're just really good quarterback prospects. So that's just me. Yeah. But Chris, who do you have going 1 to what do they call it? The Music City?
The NFL Colorado Rockies. They will be selecting Abdul Carter. It's funny we have 3 different number 1s, and always I say Abdul Carter.
I like that, and they all make sense.
Yeah, I think the reason I say Abdul Carter is because
their D-line's awful.
you've invested in the quarterbacks last few drafts and not really done anything. So I think you maybe wait again for Arch. I'm thinking that they maybe wait for Arch and try to do it again next year and just be bad again. But I think at the end of the day, even when being bad, you can still get elite talent. And I think Abdul Carter's top 3 player in this draft. I think Travis is 1. I think Carter's 2. And I think you don't pass up the chance to get that. I think he can be generational if everything pans out how it looks like it will, as far as just his measurements and how he's been moving. I think so. And like I said, I think this is one of those picks where you can get elite talent and still be bad enough to get another neat elite talent in that top 2 picks or top 3 picks next year. I think Cam Ward is good enough to maybe help you win 6 games instead of 3 or 4, and then now you're picking 5th or 6th instead of 1, and you're out of what you're thinking of. So that's why I got Abdul Carter there.
Yeah, I totally like the pick. I'm going to move on to the second overall pick, whereas the Cleveland Browns, I do have them taking a quarterback. I was originally thinking about Abdul Carter here with Myles Garrett trade news. But once he signed back, I'm like, you know what, you'll live. If you really want to be nasty, you could pair the two. That'd be sick. But I do have them taking University of Miami quarterback Cam Ward. This is a little bit of a mix of what I would do, what I think they'll do. I like Sanders as a quarterback with maybe not the ceiling of Ward, but I think if Sanders got put on the right team right away, like not a Jaden Daniels-esque rookie season that's literally the greatest ever, but he could lead a team 8, 9, 10 wins, flirting with a playoff spot. But I think for Ward specifically, I think the Browns are looking more long run. They're thinking maybe post Deshaun Watson. Maybe Ward is a little bit older, but I don't know if he's ready right now. Not saying he's got to sit, but he's not going to be winning a lot of games early. I'll put it that way. But he's a little bit of an investment, and he's going to be a good one. I think he's going to be a real good one for Cleveland.
Yeah, it's not a bad pick. I do have them going best player available, and that's Travis Hunter. I think that Travis Hunter is a phenomenal player. He fits in right with this team. The Browns have shown in Andrew Berry that they'll take Denzel Ward at 4 before. What's stopping them from taking another cornerback receiver kind of guy at top 2, top 4? Yeah. And look, the last 2 corners that went top 5, not bad players. One just got a 90, became the highest paid cornerback in NFL history, and the other is about to be.
Yeah, Sauce and Stingley, man, those were great debates back, and they still are great debates. I think Stingley got him a little bit this year, but
I don't know, man. There's the players that got
Stingley had the better year last year, so I think they're about 1-1. I would say. Chris, who do you have Cleveland taking?
Cam Ward. In my draft, Abdul Carter went 1, so I have Cam next, and I think Cam is exactly what this Browns team needs at this point. Just an infusion of talent, excitement, and not weird stuff at the quarterback position. So I think, like I said, outside of what we talked about earlier with, maybe Aaron Rodgers going there to solidify it for a year, I think Cam Ward is a good pick. I think it shows Myles Garrett. Shows Myles Garrett that you are trying to build right now. Like, you're not just going to take another year of his prime away from him. You're trying to get somebody who can be a game changer off rip to help your offense. So I think it's just good for the optics overall. I think he's just a really good player. Like I said, top 3 in this draft, him, Travis, and Abdul Carter as far as talent. So I think they're getting a top 3 talent here too. Can't miss it. So I think
not mad at it at all. It's funny. I don't know how other y'all boards switch out, like quarterback wise. I have Sanders 1, but I have Ward going first. It's
same,
and they're also like they're a coin flip. Those are the top 2 guys, and then you figure
Jackson
out.
Dart, the top 0. He number 1. So
Yep. At number 3, I do have what I think is the best quarterback in this draft coming off of the board and going to New York. I think Shedeur Sanders will go to New York. Him and Malik Neighbors are going to have an elite electric player like Neighbors. Sanders is no stranger playing with guys of that caliber. The offensive line could be a bit of an issue early, as we see.
No, it sounds like Colorado.
Yeah, that sounds like that. But what I did like out of Sanders in his last year was outside of the Nebraska game, like I really thought he did a good job managing the pocket. His first year at Colorado, he would hold on to the ball a little bit too long. Not to say he was perfect the next year, but it was definitely a lot better. He was more comfortable stepping up in the pocket. The accuracy, that's where I kind of get the like his ceiling could be like a Joe Burrow light, or even a Joe Burrow if he can get even better with the pocket presence. But got him going to New York. Hey, the lights won't be too bright. His bloodline has learned to embrace that. Anyone with the last name Sanders has learned to embrace it because Barry does it too. But different way.
And I'm not going to take too much spotlight away. I said earlier in the episode, I think Shedeur is locked in to go to New York unless QB goes 1 and 2. Which I think one of the Browns or if Cam Ward goes 1, the Browns likely will move back so somebody can go grab Hunter or Ward or sit Sanders. Maybe it might even be the Giants. The Giants might move up a spot.
Maybe. Look, I'm always down. If you want to go get your guy, you go get him. That's how it goes. Unless he's,
Jalen Carter,
Henry Ruggs, Henry Ruggs before Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb. But
damn, I know that hurts looking back. Jesus,
Henry Ruggs was a beast.
He was, but damn, CeeDee Lamb
wasn't even the best player on his. He wasn't even the best wide receiver on his own college team.
I know, but he was a beast.
Yeah, I got. I won't even take much time. I got Shedeur going third too. I think it just makes sense. You put Shedeur in the bright light with Malik Neighbors, and I think him and Neighbors is a better pairing than Ward and Neighbors, just because I think what Ward is really good at is extended plays, doing things like that you can do with the lesser receiver room. A guy like Neighbors, I want the ball when I want it. You can get me the ball fast. I can go make a play. I think Shedeur is better at that, like just quick decision making. So I think they just match made in heaven, and they can go to similar jewelers and get even more ice. So I'm down.
Yeah, we're up on that one. Next is the Patriots. I was really considering a receiver here. That receiver being Ted McMillan, but I kind of wanted to go inside the mind of a Mike Vrabel and think, man, what would Mike Vrabel want? And I know a
Let's
weapon for Drake May
of a Greg Jennings.
That's really what I was referencing. But we go inside the mind of a Mike Vrabel. I know we want to get a weapon for Drake May, but the problem, this isn't even really a problem. Drake May's first year, there are guys that you watch them when they got nothing. O-line's crappy. The receivers ain't great, but he still looks fine. Like, he still looks good. It doesn't matter. He reminds me of that. We don't need no excuses for Drake May. We turn the tape on and the kid can play. So I think we can hold off on getting him his absolute star weapon. He's going to get it one day. So for now, it would be foolish to let Abdul Carter fall farther than this. I have them taking Abdul Carter and building up Vrabel's defense.
Yeah. I'll keep it quick. I think that Mike Vrabel has shown he likes the physical, big X receivers, having an AJ Brown before, going to get Julio Jones to pair up with them. I think those guys are two archetypes that kind of match up with Ted McMillan. Give me Ted McMillan at 4. And Matt Collins, starting to put something together. Pop Douglas. Wait.
Won me a fantasy game before.
Huh?
Won me a fantasy game before.
He legit had, I think, highest yards of separation per route run for through the first 12 weeks of the season or something. He was good.
Separation is a phony stat. I'm here to put a nail in the coffin on that dumb woke agenda. Because half the time you don't know it. Okay, let's say there's a team where these receivers will kill us if we try to go man all day. Say Jamar Chase, for example. You can't guard him one-on-one, and you don't recommend it. But let's say he just runs right into a zone. Is he not getting separation, or is he just going where another guy is meeting him? It's foolish.
Separation against man coverage is probably the way to look at it.
That could be the way. someone could also be getting double teamed. So now you have two people on you. How are we tracking separation? Because he cooked one ball, but now you have to deal with someone else. It's a phony stat. I don't know. In certain contexts, it's fine, but certainly not the trapezoid of excellence, though. That's an elite graphic. But Chris, who do you got the Pats taking?
I'm solving Vrabel's problems on both sides of the ball with one player, because in this draft, Travis Hunter's here for. So now you get Christian Gonzalez, a mate on the other side, and you get Drake May a weapon. How about that? This is just the perfect way for the draft to shake out of you, the Patriots, for me, because then you have to think about, do I go defense or do I go offense? You go Travis Hunter and you get a little bit of both. Everybody's turn.
Then Drake a little bit of both. You get a lot of both.
You see what I'm saying? Like, what did Paul Pierce say? I'm not saying it because he shouldn't have said it, but something about a load. That's what you're getting with Travis Hunter. That's what you get with Travis Hunter. That's what I'm saying, sir.
We just get a taste of them. I don't want a taste. Give me he said I want the whole load.
Yeah, that was insane. But in this case, I think it fits for Travis. I think it's cool too. Like him going from Colorado to the Patriots is like an organization who knows winning. I know Belichick's gone down, I know that, but they still know winning. They know a lot about this NFL. They know about deflating footballs. They know about doing good things and bad things. So I think this is a place where Travis Hunter can go. And I just think him and Christian Gonzalez on the outside, that's just really cool to think about. And then Drake May having him on offense. I think it's just really cool just to have as a weapon. So I think it's a thing that solves both problems not problems, that puts a plug into both areas for the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all. At number 5, I have the Jaguars going a little bit of Bengals route here, where maybe you really need offensive line for Trevor Lawrence, but you know what, Trev? Like, I don't have doubt with Trevor Lawrence. When he was healthy last year, outside of the Bills game, that was easily the worst game I've ever seen him play in his life, and he had to play under Urban Meyer for an entire season. That game was the worst I've ever seen. Outside of that, though, I really thought he was. I thought he was good. I thought he was really good against Miami. So you know what? Go all in and go. You got your Chase. You got the Brian Thomas Jr. Except this one's 6'5". Pair it with another tall receiver, Ted McMillan. You have your own version of Chase and Higgins. Except time will tell who will be the number one. Brian Thomas Jr. probably will end up being that because he is insane. But I got them really loading up the weapons. And Trevor Lawrence, I got your back. Not everyone does, though. And a lot of people get skeptical. And a lot of people push your stats next to Daniel Jones. We know that's not the case. But Mac Jones, get the hell out of here. That does happen, though, to be fair. But I watch the games. I know what we're dealing with. And Ted McMillan is coming to save you. Probably the best receiver in the draft. I think it's real close between him and Travis. I'd lean Ted, but obviously.
Why are you giving
one of those guys?
Why are you giving him 2 6'5" demons? That's not fair.
Because he deserves it.
No excuses after that. I say.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm not a person who likes to start with if, ands, or buts when it comes to these quarterbacks. Because I'm the type of guy that's just going to show you a picture of my quarterback with the Vince Lombardi trophy in his hand. So, and especially a player with Lawrence's talent caliber, like, no, I'm not making excuses for you, dude. And I don't think you're bad anyway. So I don't even say, oh, well, if he had this, we're going to get Ted McMillan and we're going to find ourselves right back in these, these top 8, top 7 convos that we had at just 22 years old. But we know I'm a fanboy. Don't listen to me. Danny, who do you have at 5? Because you had Ted going at 4.
Yeah, I have Abdul Carter going at 5. I think it's pretty simple. Jags got an offensive-minded coach. They're going to revamp the offense. They're going to get ETN involved. They're going to run the ball, be heavy. They already got their ex-receiver in Brian Thomas Jr. They're going to fill the rest of the pieces in. A couple in free agency, rest maybe a later round draft, deep receiver draft. I think the Jags really go and try to emphasize their D-line. And if you can go pair him with a Trayvon Walker, a Josh Allen, and let Abu.
You could run stunts with Hines Allen and Walker like inside. The best part about it all is you could have Carter just step back, be an off-ball linebacker because he knows how to do it because he's a football like lunatic.
I think it allows them to be Carter to play that Micah Parsons role.
Yes. First year Micah Parsons specifically. Know exactly
truly
what you're talking about.
Like that early Micah Parsons role where he can play middle linebacker, he can play outside linebacker, and I think that's, call me crazy, I think that's where Parsons exceeded his most. He might not, his sacks might not have been there, but Parsons that year was the best version of Parsons.
Yeah, rookie year we're about 13 weeks into the season and we're like, yeah, he's got real decoy juice. Fell off a little bit because of I think TJ Watt had a million sacks.
22 sacks, yeah.
So, we'll move on to Chris though. Chris, who do you have Jacksonville taking at 5?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it short. I'm going with Tim McMillan too. I think they go get their version of T and Jamar for their Joe Burrow, and they rock out like that.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. And the graphic where it's like it'll be like the quarterback getting sacked with like nobody on the line and then like elite receiver out there, or it could be like quarterback, elite lineman, and then anybody catching the ball. That isn't always true.
Nope.
It can't just be anybody on the other end. But when you got a quarterback like Trevor Lawrence with the pocket presence, it's all going to be good. Now, this one's pretty interesting because a lot of people kind of thought the Raiders would be looking to maybe move up, potentially take Shador or, have a younger quarterback option, but they trade for Geno. So quarterback isn't necessarily a worry. I have them taking Mason Graham from Michigan. A little bit of best player available here. I think pairing him with, Wilson and Crosby, you could build something there. I think you could build something there. I'm a little excited for that offense as it is. Just give me a little bit more juice on defense and maybe this year's Broncos.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're giving them some juice on offense. I think to pair the juice on offense, they're going to go with Ashton Genty.
Okay.
I think he doesn't fall past 6, in my opinion. He's going to be Bijan Robinson in this draft. And he's better than Bijan coming out of college.
It's not debatable. Bijan is great. That J&T would be dropped in. Like how many classes would J&T be dropped in? He wouldn't be the best running back available. You'd have to be like one
Saquon.
Of the grades. He wouldn't go
Reggie
over
Bush?
Saquon. I know that he wouldn't go over Bush. Wouldn't go over Barry. Like he is running back 1 in lots of classes, especially recently.
For sure.
I think maybe Bijan would have because of what just Bijan's entire skill set. It would be a topic of discussion, but like someone would just be like 2,500 yards. It's just like it's just not the same.
I don't know.
But both really good. I do agree he's the Bijan of this draft, but he doesn't have the high top of doom. So,
low key, I was just squinting my face because I'm a big Bijan fan, and I'm fanboying like you for Trevor Lawrence. I'm Bijan's biggest fan.
Look, both the fanboy.
I love Bijan Robinson,
especially after Bijan's year this year. My Lord.
And Bijan's rush receiving demon, by the way. Talk so.
Yes.
But yeah, I have the same pick as Danny though. I'll go Ashton Genty too. Because I agree. I think he is the best running back in this class, and I think trading for Geno Smith, I think it shows that you want to do something pretty current to now. And I think as of right now, what's left, I think he's probably your best insertion. If you don't go like trenches on either side, he's probably your best insertion as far as difference maker left. So yeah, I'm going with Ashton Genty too.
They had one day at Brock Bowers, and they said, "Look, we're getting offensive star power."
Okay, now what if they draft a running back and now their generational tight end just can't catch the ball anymore?
Or it opens up even more play
to Bijan.
Brock Bowers. Thoughts?
Well, you either have to cover Brock Bowers or you cover Ashton Genty. And you're not gonna be able to run that Penn State 8 in the box.
You're gonna find out very fast. You can't cover both anyway. So
yeah, true. So
let's move to 7 though.
Especially, I think that extension to Max Crosby is really the indicator for me that they're going to go all in.
Yeah, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. Let's move to the Jets though. Poor PFF. They said their number one need was quarterback. Who said that? Loser. But I have them taking Will Campbell here. I feel getting Justin Fields, his bodyguards is number one priority. That kid needs, he needs protection. The wide receiver situation there, it's not even all too bad, I would say. When you're throwing to one of your buddies, it's like having 3 good receivers. Chemistry matters. It really does. So I'm happy for those 2. They get, Will Campbell, who, made all the headlines about that great conference clip that he had saying, like, D linemen get 12 sacks, their first round pick. We let up 12 sacks. You're going to be flipping patties. So I like his attitude. I think he could bring a little bit of juice. You don't usually talk about a lineman bringing juice to an offense, but I think he will. I think he's going to be Fields' guy. I got high hopes for the Jets with this pick. High hopes with the Jets. Said no one ever.
Other than a Jets fan. Yeah, I also have Will Campbell going.
Nice.
I think best lineman in the draft. They just have to protect. He's more of a pass protector than a full run blocker, but
yeah, I mean,
bigger dude.
Hey.
Yeah, I agree with y'all. I think Will Campbell is the best lineman in the draft. And that's exactly why the Jets aren't going to take him. They're going to take Armand Mimbo because that's what the Jets do. They take a guy, and I think Mimbo's going to be pretty good too. But I think what the Jets are going to see and what a lot of teams are going to see is just how he's been performing, just how he's been rising up draft boards and just after athleticism and everything from a lineman. I think that's going to keep pushing him up draft boards. And I think the Jets take a chance here because I think the Jets offensive line, they have some solid pieces. I know they lost some people. They have some solid pieces over there. So I think it kind of gives them room to kind of take a chance on a guy like Mimbo. But I agree. I think they should take Will Campbell. But in my brain, I think they take Mimbo here at 7.
Nope. We'll move on to the Panthers, who I've said this a million times. Bryce Young, back half of the year, and especially the way he ended the year, that was some really, really good football. And that's what a number 1 overall pick looked like. Not good for a rookie, good for a second-year guy, or treating him like Bronny James. No, he was good. He was great. The back stretch of the season gave the Eagles a run for their money. Is a Xavier Legette drop from dropping the Super Bowl champs. Unfortunately, didn't get the ball last against Mahomes, and he ended the Falcons season with one of the best quarterback performances of the year. So I don't think you're in a rush to get weapons per se. That defense is bad. I've watched the 2014, I think 2013 or 2014 New Orleans Saints. This defense is 100% worse. 1,000% worse than them. Like, this defense sucks. So with that being said, I'm going to have him taking, this positional value is a little bit out of place here. But I really like Malachi Starks out of Georgia. I think outside of Travis, I think the best secondary player in the draft, a very physical guy. I like him going to Carolina. I really do.
Yeah. I do not have Carolina taking him. I have Carolina taking Mason Graham, one of the worst D lines, and could not stop the run if the run was walking. So
that was a good one. Yeah, I have the same thing, Dan. I have the same thing. I don't even want to waste anybody's time. I think Mason Graham is the pick because of what you said. Can't stop the run. You pick a guy who can looks like and is proven to help stop the run.
And they just pay J.C. Horn too. So I do think they have faith in their cornerback room.
I had a corner at first too.
What? Starks
the DB room. DB rooms.
Oh no, you know very well. One player in that room does not make the entire room.
Doesn't make the entire room, but I don't know. I hope the Panthers are smart enough not to take a safety at 8.
Well, they did load up on defensive bodies in free agency, so
I know they wanted Nunn Williams though, and I think them missing out on Milton Williams, I think makes him take Graham. That was part of my thought.
I mean, Graham is of course the better positional value pick, and he's probably the better prospect in totality. But in my world, he's off the board. True. I mean, I could go with one of the other edge rushers, like a James Pierce or a Mike Green. But I like Starks. I like Starks in a way that I like Hamilton. Not necessarily saying they're the same player. Don't get me wrong. Hamilton is a future Hall of Famer, but
Lewis Cine,
man, like positional value aside, I got Starks pretty high. Like I really do.
I remember the last Georgia safety to come out was Lewis Cine.
Starks and Cal Hamilton will be playing together.
No, they won't.
Yes, they will. Dogs.
Kyle Hamilton will have
2038 on the Steelers.
You wish, Danny. You wish.
No.
They don't play together. You wish.
They're taking Nick and Eamon Warrior.
Hey, I'm cool with that too. I can't say his last name, but I'm cool with that too.
He better than Starks.
Possibly, Malachi and Kyle Hamilton
not
together.
True.
That's pure nonsense.
That's just not true. I can't. Yeah,
it's not true.
No, I told Chris this specifically. I need to stop getting like obsessed with prospects to the point where like, you know, it can't be an end all be all. But yeah, Starks is the best safety in the draft. And he's one of the best. He's the best safety I think I've watched in college since Hamilton. So, but let's move to the Saints here. Saints, very weird team. I don't think anyone's doubting that. Yeah, they're an extremely peculiar situation with their cap space, so we have to question why are they here. But I have them at this point. I kind of have them taking a best player available type of thing. I know they just gave Chase Young the big contract, but that was definitely the product of having Rich Paul in your corner or whoever his agent is. I have him taking James Pierce Jr., who I think is one of the funkier players of the draft. I mean, he's just very weirdly built. And I'm just very excited to see how he's going to transition to the NFL. So I got the Saints taking the wacky pick. We're going to take the kid from Tennessee.
Yeah, I do not have him taking James Pierce, but I do have him taking none other than the kid from Marshall
Green,
West Virginia, Mike Green. Not to be confused with Mike Breen, the NBA announcer. But man, Mike Green is probably the best pass rusher in this draft. Cam Jordan is old as shit.
That's putting it lightly.
No, Chris, he's like 38, dude.
I know.
He's bad. He's bad. Legend to New Orleans. Bad player.
Just old right now, but get him out of there. Take him out behind.
Not good. He's not good no more.
The shit, like old Yeller.
But yeah, nonetheless, he brings them some pass rushing fire that they haven't had on that team. Maybe since Trey Hendrickson. Dude, they used to have a younger Cam Jordan and Trey Hendrickson on the same team.
Man, they had a good defense for a little bit.
They did.
I wonder why.
I forgot about that.
They let Hendrickson walk.
Yeah, I forgot about
that. And I believe they paid Tyrann Mathieu instead.
Honey Badger, I'm cool with it.
Got to pay your hometown kid. Grew up there, so
I guess
LSU ties just mean more. And when Joe Burrow goes down there, the
Eagles have to pay some bums.
No, hey,
because they're from Philly.
Philly, one of the best football schools in America. We good.
Yeah, we good.
That's fair.
We good. And then the last pick of the mock for all of us.
No, Chris has to do.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Chris. Who do you have? Who do you have the Saints taking?
I have Jahdae Barron. I know that sounds really random, but I think with Johnson's injury, just concern, I think it may slide Barron up to that CB1 in this draft, just for right now. And I think that's where the Saints can improve if they don't take the pieces that you guys took. I think corner's a place they could use a little bit of help. And I know drafting corner early pans out sometimes it doesn't. But I think I just like Barron's like athleticism. And in the NFL today, you got to be athletic as hell on the outside to be able to guard these receivers to the best of their ability. And I think he's a guy who can maybe grow into a CB1 or 2. So I think they take a chance on him here at 9.
Okay. I'm certainly not mad at it. And they can use the help. It's funny though when you said like Barron, like, oh, he's potentially cornerback one of this draft. Travis Hunter is so good at offense, you forget he's
and I would even
best corner in the nation.
I've even been putting him as a 1 or a 1 on either side. I've been putting him as Travis Hunter, and I just put him at gone in the first three or four picks because I think he's the best cornerback. I think so. I think him and Ted McMillan are the best receivers. I think it's just Ted McMillan is 6'5", 4'8", and it's rough. That's terrifying.
Nasty. And you know, the stats won't back it up entirely, and they didn't match up too much, but they got to play each other in Hunter's first year at Colorado.
They did.
Hey, McMillan, the stats want to show. I think McMillan had his way a little bit, and that's not easy.
A couple of times,
but
I will say, not for a touchdown though. But
I will say though, Hunter, he literally won best defensive player in the nation.
I'm literally just looking at him as a player, not even as a one side. He's just
He's
player.
a concept. He's a myth. Like, and I can't believe they boiled it down to snaps isn't a stat.
He's the first
turn
AI
your
player.
TV on, dude. Like,
he's the first AI player that's actually
turn
good.
TV off. Oh,
he's the first AI player that's actually good. He's not a 2K AI. He's the AI player that Wemby is.
He's what was his name when you in 2K?
The dragon, the flying dragon dude.
Yes, he's the flying dragon.
Yep, exactly right.
Flying dragon. Well, let's move on to 10. Last pick of the draft. Chicago Bears. Look, the line in place. The receivers are good. Defense is good. Got the franchise quarterback. Let's just go draft a really good running back. I have JT going here because I think it would be cool. And
you know what's crazy?
They do need a running back. So
yeah, Streets is saying that they would be the new, not new, but they would be Ben Johnson's new version of Gibbs Montgomery if you get Swift and Genty together. That's what the Streets are saying.
The only problem is that Swift isn't good enough to take his touches. So that's a little different. But he'll still get involved, though. Don't get me wrong. We'll still get Swift involved. But
no, Roshan Johnson get more carries than Swift at that point. He's getting the goal line more.
Come on. Don't get me salivating and fantasizing.
The same team, didn't they?
JT, I think the Bears could run some really like Eagles-esque stuff, like give JT the ball like 20 plus times a game. Yeah, Williams is talented, and you can rely on Williams to throw 30 plus times, but why bother? He's already a low turnover quarterback, and then when he does throw the ball, it's going to be fireworks because they're going to have like 7, 8 in the box. You're leaving DJ Moore one-on-one. You can ask any corner in this league. That's not a good idea. So,
bad idea.
Oh, and then Rome Odunze is going to be getting one-on-ones. Whoop. Salivating and fantasizing.
For sure.
And they're getting the speedy wide receiver 3. It looks like they've been bringing a couple speedsters in. I'm interested. I'll be there.
Yeah, and it's just not
will
crazy
be there.
For me.
This is a Bears FC podcast.
So I've toyed this James Pierce. I've toyed with Will Johnson in this pick, but with Bijan, call him Bijan. With Ashton Genty off the board, I think they go Omari and Hampton. Proven running back from UNC. I think 2 running backs going to top 10. More so like a long time. I don't think it's ever happened actually.
No, it's definitely had to have happened.
Maybe
I'll be right on that. But you keep spilling.
Yeah, I do think that the Bears are looking to make an offensive explosion. They've got their quarterback. They got their 2 receivers. They got the tight end. Keenan Allen's a 3rd receiver. They don't need a receiver. The offensive line shored up in the interior really well. They have some young tackles they already took care of. I don't think they're taking a tackle. Defensively, they could take an end, like I said, but I like they signed some depth off the edge. So I like where they're at. And someone said the Bears are a funny team because they win the offseason every year. They never actually win. So the reality is you go get a guy like Genty, like Omari and Hampton, who I think is almost underrated because Bijan, we'll call him again, because Ashton Genty's in this draft. People don't realize how good he is. He put up 1,500 yards 2 out of his 3 college football seasons. That's really impressive.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah.
Agreed.
To answer that question, last time 2 guys went in the top 10, 2 backs went in the top 10. 2017. Christian McCaffrey went 8. Leonard Fournette went 4th.
Yeah.
Elite college player, though. He tricked people. I do get it. I get why you were tricked. I get it.
It wasn't hard to be tricked, bro. He was throwing people off of his back.
I get why you were tricked.
Wait, playoff Lenny. Playoff Lenny, man.
We're not doing that, bro. Playoff Kenny G. Playoff Will Dissly. Oof. Not Will Dissly, Will Shipley. I said Will Dissly.
Will Dissly. Hell yeah.
Uncle Will Dissly, man. Shout out. All right, Chris. Wrap it up for us. Who are the hometown Bears taking?
I think they did a really good job in the trenches on both sides of the ball in the free agency. And I think that's why they go in my draft. Will Campbell's still there. And I think he's the best player available at this point in my draft. So I think they take Will Campbell here.
Wait, I thought you said you take him. I thought you said that. You said they didn't take him. The Jets didn't take Will Campbell.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, because they took Mimbo, and I think the Bears luck out and take Campbell in this sense. I think because Genty's gone on my board. I like Hampton. I like the Hampton pick too, but when you got Caleb, I think you just want to continue to secure around him, which I think they've done a great job. But adding Will Campbell, if he's still available, I think that's kind of a no-brainer if you have the opportunity to. So, yeah, I got to take Will Campbell.
I would just like to see more from the tackles they already have, though. They're young. They have like 1 or 2 years experience.
Yeah.
Well, one of them getting turned into Mekhi Becton and playing a little bit of guard. So
they just signed a center and a guard, 2 guards.
Hey, can never have too much depth. Look at the champs.
That's where I'm going with it, and I think I seen that somewhere over. I forgot what I was watching, but there was like all the teams that are really, really good. 9 times out of 10, they have depth in the offensive line and defensive line, and I think the Bears have a lot of depth in other places. Yes, running back, they could use some depth there. They could use another receiver, I think. But I think having depth for protecting Caleb Williams, who's your franchise guy, can't go wrong there.
Yeah, can't go wrong at all. So that is the end of the mock, though.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think we all had good top 10s. I like a little bit of surprises that you guys had.
What are we, 6 weeks out from the draft?
Just about.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks out from the draft.
Yeah, gotta start talking position groups soon. Definitely.
Yeah, we'll start going probably next week.
Probably one NBA episode and then one NFL pre-draft analysis episode. Quarterbacks, running backs, receivers. We'll probably just go linemen in general, D linemen in general. I don't know. Some of these will be mixed together to get it within 6 weeks, but
yeah.
Unfortunately, we're giving a whole episode to kickers. By the way, just saying,
and punters.
Sebastian Janikowski was drafted in the first round, by the way. I want y'all to know that a kicker was taken in the first round. Elite kicker. He was elite for when he was elite, but was taken in the first round.
First round kicker.
First.
Oh my God. What's crazier, a first round kicker or a second round punter?
First round kicker, for sure.
Second round punter.
They're both bonkers.
I think about it. You have the commissioner going up there with an envelope, and he says a kicker. In that first round?
In the first round. And I think, there is no team ever constructed good enough to do that. Not even like this Eagles team.
Let me see. I'm trying to see what pick he was. He was picked number 17 in the top 20.
That's right. And that team probably was a playoff team, or they weren't for sure.
What? That is crazy. Imagine going there and pick 10, and the Bears are like, Genty's gone, Will Campbell's gone, Mario Hampton's gone. Let's take the best kicker available. They will move that team to New Zealand in the next day.
Yeah, probably. It'd be bad. Chris, a little side note about football. Big signing this week was Jamar Chase. They said Anti Higgins. They said all that to lose 97-94 to the Ravens.
And you see that meme where it's 56-52 and Lamar goes on the field to Joe Burrow?
I'm afraid that Lamar and friends is just too powerful.
And we're
Lamar, Henry, and Buds.
We're getting rejuvenated D-Hop.
The Ravens always get the wash receivers. Come on now. You know
until D-Hop has his Anquan Bolden season. Don't forget. And Steve Smith Sr. Don't forget.
Steve Smith wasn't bad when he left Carolina, though. Like D-Hop.
Older-ish.
D-Hop watch, bro.
He's older.
Steve Smith was cracking Pro Bowls on a
and DeAndre Hopkins couldn't catch the ball in the Super Bowl.
Bro, as long as he's not Jeremy Maclin, we're good. As long as he's not Jeremy Maclin, we're okay. And I've seen Lamar Jackson, the number 8. I've seen him win with post Saints Willie Snead. I've seen him win.
We need to No. We need to take a timeout all the way because Jeremy Maclin dissing ain't gonna happen.
Respect to Jeremy Maclin, the legend Jeremy
Maclin. No way.
But I'm sorry, I was hating on him.
In a world in 2011, 2012, where every Eagles fan was all Deshaun Jackson, I was Jeremy Maclin FC. I thought he was wide receiver 1.
You want to know something worse? When he got to the Ravens, I said, "Oh, we getting Eagles, Jeremy Maclin. We're good." Because of how much I love Jeremy Maclin. Jeremy Maclin was
which I thought y'all was getting Steelers Mike Wallace too.
Now, imagine the Chargers got to do a jersey swap to bring back Mike.
Yo, I remember my brother used to like blatantly lie to me. He'd be like, "Yeah, Deshaun Jackson's fast, but like Mike Wallace is way fast." I'm like, "Okay, Mike Wallace is fast. Let's not get it twisted though."
Ravens Mike Wallace
versus Ravens Deshaun Jackson. Mike Wallace wins because Jackson pulls his hamstring.
We
20
are
yards into the race.
We're the Celtic Shacks of NFL players. If you are at the end of your career, come on over to Baltimore. We got space.
Yep. It's just going to be cold, and you're just not going to be good at football. But you get to watch Lamar Jackson play.
And you might.
It's a great deal.
Well, hopefully.
It's a great deal. But all that being said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Audio listeners, leave a like, 5-star review, all that good stuff. AP New Freezer, Culture by Migos, DC Comics. Thank you guys for tuning in. Catch you guys next week.